Hey everyone, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hey everyone, I'm Aaliyah Delermy, soon to be Aaliyah Keene, because we just recently got married. I am a wife, I'm a mother to a 1-year-old, and I'm also a licensed psychotherapist. And I'm psyched about this podcast with me and my husband that we'll get into in just a sec after he introduces himself.
Well, I am Joe Keene. And I am a entrepreneur. I have a background in mechanical engineering, design engineering, sound engineering, and that's it. I mean, we basically, got married a couple of years ago. Got married. So
My God.
we met a couple of years ago. Just recently got married. Had a kid a year ago. And we got a lot of things going.
Well, let's give the people. Let's give the people the proper.
Are we keeping this real?
Yeah,
because you were just like looking at your vagina area,
right? Well, this is comfortable. It's comfortable.
We're sitting on this day bed, and she's just like
it's comfortable to
crotch
sit.
Wide open.
Whoever says that it's not comfortable to lay down with your legs spread wide open and just chill that way is a fucking liar, because it's so comfortable. Anyway. Let's at least tell them how we met, which is because I think that's a good thing, and we don't have to go into the whole long thing. But
I like to tell the story though, because I feel like you chop it up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm originally from Rhode Island.
I'm originally from New York, but I live in Florida.
Right. So she was living in Fort Lauderdale when we met. I came down to Miami for just like a long weekend, just actually looking to possibly move down and just kind of checking out the scene. Anyways, we were both on Tinder, and so we were doing our Tinder thing over that weekend. We kind of started chatting. We were both talking to other people and doing whatever as far as Tinder dates and whatnot. And then, what was it? Like the last day I was here. Right, I was supposed to. So the last day I was here, I was in Miami. I was supposed to drive up to Orlando, hang out with some friends, and fly out of Orlando. But that morning, I woke up and we were Tinder texting.
No, that's not how the story happened at all.
We were Tinder texting the night before.
We were Tinder texting the night before. First of all, let's just be clear here, okay?
I'm the worst.
Yeah, this is why I like to tell the story. So we were doing our own Tinder things. We matched on Tinder. I sent a message. Actually, I was the first one to message him. I sent a message saying, "Hey man, what's up? Blah 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 blah. Whatever." And then he responded. He was here in Miami and he was here for business or whatever. And, and then that night, I think we only spoke maybe just like one message, because I was actually on a Tinder date that night that we matched. And then I met up with one of my really good friends to have drinks. So I was too busy to even respond back. Then he must have messaged me back at some point that I was in my drunken night, and I didn't get it until the next morning. So when I woke up in the morning, I got a message saying, "Hey, do you want to go to brunch? I don't live here. I'm just here on business. I have a flight to catch tomorrow morning, but maybe we can meet up before I head out." And at that point, I was like, oh God, I'm hungover. Do I really want to go? Da, 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 da. What do I want to do? And then honestly, what got me to go, because at this point I knew he didn't live here. I was just free brunch. All right, cool. So I went, and then we met. We had a great conversation, great time at brunch. We stayed at this place called Milk Money here in Fort Lauderdale, like by Wilton Manors, and we stayed there for like hours. Drank. He missed his flight because he chose not to take it.
Let's talk about that part, right? There was a moment where we're hanging out, and I knew that I had to leave at some point, but we were having such a good time that I had to be like, hey, Aaliyah, I either have to leave right now, or I can change all my stuff around and get a new rental car and whatever, change my flight around and stay here, but then you're stuck with me the rest of the day. And then you were like, okay.
And then, I was kind of resistant. And then eventually I was like, okay, cool. So then we hung out. He came over, blah, 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 blah. We had a good time. He got a hotel room, went back to his hotel room, had a great night. And then the next day we said bye. And I honestly didn't think I was ever going to hear from him again.
And you got picked up in a pickup truck, Uber.
Yeah. And then... and then he texted me when he landed and was like, I got in safe. And I was like, okay. And then we started talking like every day, which I had no idea was even going to happen.
Then after that, we saw each other. We literally saw each other every two weeks after that.
Right, saw each other every 2 weeks. I met his family within like the first month. Then we talked about him. He was going to be moving out here. I mean, I don't want to go into so much detail because this podcast is not so much about how we met. So it's like basically long story short, after we've already gone through all that, 6 months later, he moves out here and we live together in Miami. And about maybe within the first, I would say, year and a half of us being together, I got pregnant. He proposed to me. And now we have our amazing daughter, Sol, who's 1 and change. And we are now married. The end.
So, that now clearly fast forwarding at this point, now we get to the podcast here of how we kind of came up with this podcast.
We came up with the podcast because we have many conversations that half of them I don't want to have, but I get sucked into them because the only thing that you like to do is talk all the time. When understand, I talk for a living all the time. And so I'm kind of drained and tapped out, but it doesn't really, Joe doesn't seem to care about that. So I still get sucked into these conversations.
Well, it's because we still have a relationship to develop. It's constantly evolving. Right, so we can't just not do it, even though that's what you do all day long.
Right. So we came up with this because we talk all the time, and I mean,
See?
I would
this
say
is what I'm telling you it is.
I would say we end up. I mean, like, it's not like we're so far off in terms of what we agree with and what we don't. But I would say that the reason why we have a lot of communication is probably mainly really because of Joe, because he loves this shit and loves to talk so much. If it were up to me, I would basically, tap out of a conversation and give it a little bit of time and then kind of get back to it. But Joe needs to resolve things. You need to resolve things immediately. Any conversation we have, it could start off about flowers, the most innocent conversation, and then it could end up in some like fucking philosophical freaking thing that I'm like, why are we even here right now? But now there has to be closure for Joe.
Well, listen, this is my thoughts. Like, once you get into a conversation with anybody, it doesn't even have to be with your wife, but like sometimes things lead you trigger some people's trigger points or whatever. Of you could just be speaking of something innocent, but then they're just like, oh, fuck that motherfucker, blah blah blah, and you're just like, geez, why you feel like that? And then boom, that's where you go down the rabbit hole, right? And me and Aaliyah get into those a lot. And, that doesn't happen as much as it used to. But now, basically, I feel as though it needs to be resolved right now. Like let's get to it. Like, why wait?
Joe doesn't,
why wait?
You don't understand, though, that people have different processings and different
I understand
ways.
now.
Now. But in the beginning, and still even sometimes a little bit now, you struggle with that. And so you think that because you want to resolve it now, that the other person should be on the same page, when the other person's brain, such as mine, doesn't work like that. I need a moment to just process and chill and think. And then tomorrow, after I've slept on it, I've thought about it, then let's get back to it. And you have a hard time or had a really hard time in the beginning truly comprehending that piece.
Well, you know what? I think there's there maybe in my past I've had plenty of times where people would stop the conversation and then we never finish it, right?
Right.
So now with you and I, we have this thing where basically if it gets to the point where Aaliyah's just like, I can't do this anymore, we have to come to a time where we resolve it. So it's like, all right, fine, we can stop right now, but tomorrow at 1 p.m., we got to talk about this.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Which now we don't even get that.
It doesn't get that bad.
It doesn't even get like that anymore. Now we just talk and we just resolve it.
But that's where it all came from, basically.
Right. This is where this whole thing came from, was that. And then now here we are. And let's resolve this shit now.
Right, now. You see where we've gotten? We've evolved. Before it used to have to be like, all right, we'll talk tomorrow at 1 o'clock and we'll finish this up because I'm too heated or whatever. Now, we get to the point pretty quickly now, right?
Yeah,
for the most part, unless it depends on the topic.
It still irritates me a little bit just because I'm like, oh god, I would much rather be like watching something or like sleeping or doing something mindless, But we get it done,
All right, so I mean, I don't know how you want to play this or whatever, but we'll probably have different topics that we just talk about. And did we have one for today? What was the one? Oh, the vaccine. That's like this whole big thing that's going on right now.
Yeah, the vaccine.
Listen, and I just want to state my statements here that I am not like an anti-vaccinator.
Right.
But I mean, I don't like them. I don't think for a lot of things it's unnecessary, I think. And there's a lot of side effects. But our daughter just got a couple of vaccines, right? For what? It was polio or some
I don't even know what fucking clump they were, but
it was. We just got like the minimal amount that, and we're not getting. I don't know what else do they have. The fucking. I
don't know what they have. I mean, I think that the vaccine situation in terms of and we're talking about. Really specifically, it's this COVID vaccine that came up, really, because I realized last night as I was, I had a session, and before one of my sessions, I was waiting for the patient to come on, and I was Googling, just like, because we don't watch the news in this house. We just stream everything, so there's no, like, regular TV going on. So I don't know what goes on in the world unless I, like, actually actively look it up. So I was looking at this COVID vaccine really for my mom and, stuff like that. And come to find out, I didn't, for some reason, I didn't even think that I fit in the healthcare worker population, because when I hear healthcare workers, my brain automatically goes to like nurses, doctors, people like in the trenches. For some reason, it never really goes to like me or like therapists or clinicians, but we are healthcare workers. And here in Florida, licensed mental health therapists, such as myself, qualifies as a healthcare worker, and I am eligible to get the vaccine now. And so when I read that, I don't know, it was just kind of like an exciting thing, like a ooh, oh my God, like I get to get something that, like...
Mind you, we've both already said that we're not getting the vaccine, and now she comes up with this stuff.
It was just exciting. I was just like, oh my God, I get to get something that's, like, exclusive, that, like, nobody else gets to get right now. That's like, oh my, wow. Like, and then I kind of felt, like, special. Really. I kind of felt, like, almost, like, important. Like, it was, like, this whole thing happened. And then I started thinking, and I was like, well, I mean... it's just good to know that I can in the event that I need it, because what if things happen and I can't travel unless I have it or something like that? And if it goes down like that, guys, I'm like, I'm going to have to get this damn vaccine,
Yeah. And I said, I'm just going to be driving a lot more.
And which is crazy because I'm like, oh, they're gonna like drive to France, like no, like it would
No,
totally
it's a
hinder.
boat. It's a boat.
It would hinder our, yeah,
Like back in the 1800s.
yeah, it would hinder our whole lives, like, I mean, can't go to concerts because they're coming out with this damn thing.
Anyways, by the way, Aaliyah worries about a lot of things that are unnecessary to be worried about.
First of all, I don't worry about tons of things. I think about things realistically, such as this situation. And I go to myself, okay, well, I mean, I like to have the option, Listen, I'm not saying that I'm going to be first in line to get this fucking vaccine, which clearly I'm not. But let's see what happens as time goes on. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not getting the vaccine. But I don't know how I feel about her getting the vaccine, because who knows? I don't know. I mean, this is a untested thing, So this is one of those things. It's not resolved right now because Aaliyah still has in her mind, I might get that, and I'm like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but I can't say that I disagree. I disagree.
You can say
personally,
that you disagree.
For my own personal being, but I can't tell her what to do. So I think this is where some of our I don't even know what you call them. They're not disagreements. They're not conflicts. They're just
They are conflicts. Conflicts. This is a conflict. A conflict is anything that just like basically is like this, like that's not meshing all in one straight wonderful direction. When something gears off path, but then the other path is still this way, but then this path kind of takes now we have a conflict because now two people are not taking that same path or that same road. So it's a conflict. I think when people hear the word conflict, they automatically think it's like has to be this like fucking argument or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like
and it's like, no, it doesn't need to be. Conflict is actually great. I mean, it's great to have conflict, but it's all about how it's done,
That's like the conflict is like, sometimes it's like the joys of life that you didn't know before you went into the conflict. Anyways, okay, so there's that. I mean, is that resolved? We're supposed to resolve it right now. So
I mean, I just feel like that's a difficult one to resolve because it really is based on like, it's like, I'm just saying that I may or may not. I don't know. So there's nothing to resolve because I'm very still kind of like...
It's an open case situation.
It's an open, yeah.
So we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, so let's put that one...
So, I mean, I guess that kind of contradicts what we're...
Well, no, it just, that topic wasn't the right topic for this because we can't really get into that and resolve that because it's an open case still.
Okay, this other thing that... I mean, we agree on this. First off, I need to...
But if we agree on this, then what are we resolving?
Well, it's just a discussion that we had, and then now we kind of agree on it.
Right.
It's a bit...
But what are we resolving?
Nothing. We don't have to resolve everything just because it's called resolve. I mean, we resolve it within our own minds. People could listen to this and be like, "That's not resolved." But if me and Aaliyah are like cool with it, then it's resolved to us. Right?
Or we could have resolved it before, and then we're just talking about it, right? And then bringing it to you guys.
Yes, then that's kind of what this one is about, the whole Trump thing.
Oh, this actually has been resolved over time because in the very beginning, let's disclaimer first.
Yeah, we're not Trump supporters.
Because when it comes to Trump, I feel like this is a very sensitive topic for tons of people out there. So let's disclaimer.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Let's disclaimer. I am not and don't associate or affiliate really with any really Trump party, nor do I really attach myself to any like Biden party or whatever the hell they call it? I mean, I'm like I'm like the last person to really like be in politics. Again, I don't watch the news, so I have no idea. But to me, it's like I'm like whatever.
We look at truth. Like, what is the?
I look at truth and I look at something that in that moment I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense, right? Like regardless of everything else, like I still will find something or I can hear something that's like, okay, I mean, I guess what I do for a living, guys, right? So like, you know, I mean, I've worked with sociopaths, like, and I love them. I love working with them. But I'll find a moment. It may be a fast moment and maybe like a second. But I'll find a moment where they just get like, it's just like valid. And I'm like, yes, you know, so that's kind of how I think. And you're not a Trump supporter or anything like that either, or affiliated with any party, actually.
Yeah, and if I was a Trump supporter, I wouldn't be like scared to say it. Like Aaliyah said, I don't like either party. Biden, Trump, they all suck overall. All the presidents are the same to me. They don't affect my life really at all, except for the one time where Obama did the tax, the damn
Obamacare for me. Fuck.
Yeah, the Obamacare is the only president that actually affected both of us because of the healthcare thing, where I don't have healthcare. So, but with the Obamacare, it forced me to pay.
Screwed me
every year in my taxes the healthcare, even though I didn't have it. So it was a tax every year.
For me, it screwed me because it didn't cater to, as I was going through it, having to get health insurance, it doesn't cater to like the middle class, let's say. And at that time, I was like very much middle class, I felt like. But it's like, but at the same time, I wasn't making, you know, this astronomical amount of money. And in my mind, I'm like, but I feel like I qualify for this. Like, it was like, what the fuck? And it's like, you literally I feel like it just catered to one population and didn't cater to others.
Yeah.
But the way that it was coming out was that, it was going to help everybody. It was like, no, it fucking didn't. So anyway, you know, like.
So we both agreed that was an effect that the president, there was something he did because, well, that wasn't an executive order or anything. That was actually voted on by Congress.
Right.
So it was just during his presidency. It wasn't. But everybody loves Obama as a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody hates Trump as a person. But both of them have their goods and bads as far as what they are doing to affect the country as a whole now and into the future, right? And that's what we kind of look at.
It's like, so basically, in the beginning, when I think this whole thing was going on with like Trump, you know, just getting reelected and blah, 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 the whole entire nine, or even while he was president, like there'd be conversations that would come up between, you know, him and I, Joe and I was like so passionate about like in the beginning, I was like, fuck Trump. That guy's a fucking idiot. Da 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 da. Did you hear what he said? And when I think about it today, and I'm wondering if this is true for anybody else, when I think about it today, I truly believe that one of the main reasons why I was like that is because my family is like that.
Right. And now you talk to your mom and she does the exact same thing.
So I literally took on just what my family injected into me and what I hear them all talk about and didn't really have my own opinion on it. I was just kind of like, all right, that's how, you know, it's like I identified in the beginning with Democrat because my family are Democrats and that's it, you know? But then like, you know, throughout this process and having these conversations really with you, you know, I've been able to process more and think more and just kind of have different perspective on things. And, you know, do I believe and hear and see whatever the stuff that this person says that I feel is absolutely ludicrous? Yes, of course I pinpoint those things. I'm not dumb, right?
Well, it's hard for people to see past like his tweets or whatever, right? So
tweets are.
But for example, this is the most recent one, right? Like his latest speech about what's in the new stimulus bill.
Great speech.
Like if you take out the beginning and the end, because at the beginning he's like talking about like it's China's fault.
Yeah, like
whatever.
take that out. All right, like don't think about that. That was ridiculous.
He does this introduction of like what he really wants or whatever, and then he goes into facts.
That was the best I think I've heard him sound,
right.
Minus those little points, right? But like that, and then the China virus, this guy with that, and then he says stupid shit.
Yeah, and then he talks about how like, he's he could still be the next president.
Right, of course. I mean, he's so delusional. But outside of that, if you remove that and focus on the other stuff he said, which actually was the bulk of his whole speech,
right.
It was fucking amazing.
The fact is, the guy let the American people know what type of wasteful spending is within this 5,000 plus page bill. I've never seen a president like openly hate on all this stuff. Usually they're all in cahoots. They're all like getting paid from one insurance company or one country and oil something or who knows. And they're all like, yeah, let's just slide this billion in. Let's slide that million in. And we'll just slide it into this package and call it a relief package. And all the people will be like, yes, we're going to get our $600 or whatever the fuck it is. Right. But he openly said, okay, Egypt is supposed to get $1 billion out of this COVID relief bill. Why? Does anybody even care? What are they doing with this? What does this have to do with COVID relief in America? Because it's an American bill, right? But nobody cares. He went through a whole list of actual stuff that was in the bill that...
Now, this is the thing, though. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if he really cares or not either.
Oh, he probably doesn't care. But
right,
the fact is...
because the narcissist part, right?
Right, but he did it. He said it. He put it out there. That's all that I care about. Like,
right, because someone's gonna be like, wow, he didn't.
He's a jerk.
Like he's a jerk anyway, and
he's an idiot.
And he was playing golf while he. Listen, okay, I don't give a shit whether this guy was out playing golf or whatever. I don't give a shit what his motives are because every president has some fucking motives. So if you think that all these presidents didn't have any motives to doing things, then you are sadly mistaken.
Listen,
but his motive is to make himself seem like he's the most amazing person in the world. He has a huge ego. It's elevated. He's
and that's what people can't. That's what people can't see past.
He most likely did all this because it makes him quote unquote look better, especially to all his supporters and stuff like that. But guess what? I really don't care. At the end of the day, he still went out there and really was like, bam, 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 bam. This is what's going on. 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 And how about this? Let's give everyone $2,000.
The funny thing about Trump is like the way he is naturally, the way he talks, it forces the truth out. Some way, some shape, somehow. It forces people to either be personally responsible for their own decisions, or he basically blatantly says what's actually happening and everybody shits their pants. Like, okay, I would rather have somebody that's telling me every day the shit that's going on that they have no control over or they do have control over or whatever the fuck it is. And then I can actually say, all right, if this is the truth, then I need to do X, Y, and Z. As opposed to many of our presidents where they just do shit behind our backs and we find out 10 fucking years later.
Yeah.
And we don't even know. We had no say or even thought about what happened.
I mean, to me, and again, I don't know him, but to me, I feel like Trump is just like a product of his environment in terms of like how he was raised and what was going on or whatever. Because like even with like that bleach comment that I guess he made, right? Like in terms of COVID, like just drink the bleach. Okay, like honestly,
he's probably joking around,
right? I actually feel like because when I see his personality and when I see him speak. First of all, Trump's a businessman first and foremost. Okay, I don't know if anyone's ever really come across like some serious businessmen, but like serious businessmen are all like They like speak really fast. They're like straight shooters, blah, 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 blah. They just like say shit, da, 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 da. Like they're hustlers. So you take a businessman mix that with a narcissist, and then maybe you get someone like Trump, meaning like maybe that comment that he made really wasn't serious. He was most likely joking, but because where people are coming from is, but he's the president of the United States and that was the wrong time to do that and he shouldn't have joked and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, I get that. Right. I mean, like, he's not the best with words, obviously, and he shouldn't have joked. But, like, what happens then is that then in every news media, it's like Trump truly believes to drink bleach. I don't think that he truly believes, and I could be wrong, but, like, I don't think that he truly believes, unless he's like mentally and cognitively, completely like there's so many distortions in his brain that that's what he actually does truly believe. Then,
but then he would
fine.
have drank it and
right.
gotten sick, right?
Yeah, right. So I think he's a quick-mouthed guy who says shit without thinking about where he's at or who's around or anything like that. And it just so happens to be that he's the president and everyone's listening to what he says and it doesn't come off as fucking cute. And
how about this? Like, who over the course of the past 50 years has set the precedence of what a president should act like? It's who's done that? The other presidents before him, right? And were they all great? Probably not. A lot of them sucked. A lot of them, maybe there was a couple in there that did some good, but like, who's to say who created this culture of like a president needs to be a certain way? What they've done is a president over the past 50 years has become a pacifier for the people. Like, whatever calms the people down, that's what they say. That's why Obama was so good. And that's why everybody loves Obama.
Not that guy.
See, even Aaliyah likes Obama. But she doesn't know why. It's all about his personality.
I just love his class.
It's not because Obama...
I really know nothing about what he did besides the fucking Obamacare that I'm still
Obama droned
I don't follow politics.
A kid... I forget the name. Anwar al-Awlaki, I think it was like his son or something.
Are you spitting? Because then we're going to have to fact check this shit.
I know. That's why I'm not going to go too far into that. But I do know that.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it. Because then we got to fact check. I'm not doing that fact check shit. Everything we're just talking about is just stuff that we just...
I do know that, he went into, Syria without...
Why do you have to... But that would have to even be fact checked.
Yeah, no, that has to be fact checked. So they'll do it. Fact checked it. I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong country, but he did go into a country without getting Congress's approval. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the actual facts of what happened, but everybody loves Obama because he talks like this and he's a sweet fucking
he is a
slick
classy,
mover, right? Trump is not a slick mover, but then he also like fucking does
he's
and
handsome,
says some good.
He's classy, stop talking about his words. Gosh, and that.
But that's the brainwash. That's where people get fucking swayed into like believing or thinking things that they may or may not believe if they actually knew the truth, right? So, anyways, my whole point is the reason why we're all just.
That's where.
What is the truth? Yes, you have to. It's not coming from the news. I'll tell you that.
God no.
It's coming from your own thoughts and logical thoughts on how you think life should actually be. Like, should we actually be sitting here in 2020 the whole fucking year wearing goddamn masks all the fucking time everywhere we go? For what? For something that kills 99... I mean, that you have a 99% survival rate of. I mean, yes, it's killed people. A lot of things kill people. Are we getting into some deep shit that you don't want to get into right now? Or?
No, it's not that we're getting into deep. It's just like, I've heard this thing from him so many times about this fucking mask.
Listen, COVID is real. I will say that for sure. COVID is real. But is it so real that it's like the people dying on your doorstep and like blood in the streets and like, blood is coming out of your eyeballs and shit when you get this? No, because only 1% of the population is dying from this. That's an actual fact from the CDC. Anyways, I think we're getting way off track on like what we discuss here. It's like,
Oh shit! I thought you.
oh, she's not like that.
Yeah, we were gonna wrap up because I'm looking at. See, we have our monitor here because
We got a baby.
because
Our baby is our alarm clock. That's how long we have.
that's how
to
that's
do
yeah.
a
That's
podcast.
we know that we have this much amount of time to do a podcast
When she
simply
wakes up.
by staring at her in her crib. And the monitor that we're using for anyone who wants to know is Hello Baby that we simply got on Amazon and it was super cheap and it's super good. So yeah, so I mean, well, I guess we do have to wrap up because she's probably going to start. What time is it? Yeah, it's 4:39. She'll start waking up. So I mean, nothing really that was resolved in this episode because again, we already resolved this whole Trump thing prior. I think the whole thing was that I was very against Trump when I first met him, couldn't stand him. And it's not that he made me not against Trump. It's just that I think that throughout these like really great conversations that we've had, it allowed me to just start thinking for myself and really just, you know, my perspective changed and I was able to see things differently. Again, still not a supporter or anything like that. But if I feel that something is valid or if I feel that something was good or if I feel that something was something, I'm going to say that regardless of someone not being a great individual or not. And what that also kind of brings me to that I did want to touch on actually was this thing of hate. Like, for example, so I had a conversation, right, yesterday with my mom who, again, my family they're like huge Trump freaking haters, like everything about, like, I'll be like, did you hear that Trump wants
Just
to do
hearing
this?
his name, like,
yeah, you hear that Trump wants to do this $2,000 stimulus? Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah,
that guy's
he's
a
trying
fucking. That guy's in it for his fucking self. And like it literally, like, it's like, no, like the voices get elevated. Now they're like almost half yelling, and I'm simply just having a conversation.
Yeah, it could be like, Trump wants to give you a new house. Oh, fuck that motherfucker. He ain't giving me shit.
She's like, you mean anything? He's a liar. That's what he is. He's a liar.
Bullshit.
And it's like, oh my God. And then it brought me to this like thought yesterday after I was having this conversation with my mom, that it's like, how can you, and this is not just for her, this is for really a lot of people in my family, as well as I'm sure a bunch of other people, but like, how can you sit there and talk about or even mention or have discussions about how hate is not a good word, not a good thing to do. It's not nice to hate people.
Everybody
it's not nice
raises
to
their
do
kids
those things, right?
to like
how
not
can
hate
you
or try.
how can you do that? But then on the other side, have so much hate towards this one individual that you're blinded by anything that he possibly could do. Trump could fucking come out and literally be like, you get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car. And
They're like, we don't want that shit.
and people would still hate him. And but the severity of the hate is so severe that for me, that's where I get really like stuck on, where I'm like, man, so now like there's a bunch of hypocrites living in this world, to be quite honest, because I'm seeing lots of like no hate signs going up, but yet a lot of people who are holding those no hate signs, who don't believe in hate, have pretty strong opinions and hatred towards one man. So that's not really accurate then with what you're preaching.
They're blinded by their emotions.
They're blinded by their emotions, and one of the emotions is this strong. Well, see, I use the word hatred because it does come off that way. But I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you, if I confronted them and use that word, they'll pull back. No, I don't. No, I highly dislike them. I strongly dislike. Oh, okay, that's what it is.
But then if you go even deeper and be like, why?
Right? Yeah.
Then it's like you don't. They have no conversation really to give you.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, everybody thinks he's a fucking idiot, so I do too. Fuck him. But I mean,
well, now
we think he's an idiot too. But like, I mean, there's a whole. It's so one-sided.
We think he's an idiot, but I will say, when I heard that freaking speech the other day, I was actually like, Okay.
Like, hey, at least this guy's
I was
like
like-
trying to
I
like
was
tell
just
us
like,
the truth,
okay.
like, what's going on.
But like to me, it wasn't even really about that. To me, when I was listening to it, I heard calm. I heard professionalism, which are things that I really rarely hear from him.
All in the middle. The
But I heard that's what I heard. So like for a second, I was like, "That's not Trump," because it was like audio, you know. But I'm like, "Oh my god, this is actually like, wow!" I was actually surprised. So you know, and narcissists can turn it on, they can turn it off. I know that too, you know. So I get it, but you know, but in that moment, he turned it on, and I heard it, and I was able to recognize it, but other people can't, and I think that's where that blinded by the emotions comes in.
I mean, I don't think it's just, you know, with presidents either. It's not just with Trump, but people do that in general all the time to people that they've just checked off.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's done anything, you know, in any way, shape, or form emotionally harmful to anyone, well, not anyone, but a lot of people, they that's what it is. They don't allow people to evolve and grow. Like if you were like a dickhead when you were you know, a teenager, and now you're like 40 years old and you haven't seen the guy that you were a dickhead to in like 20 years or something, he's going to instantly think you're a dickhead right off the rip without even saying anything, right? And that's kind of how they treat Trump. It's like,
Yeah, like,
you know,
no matter, yeah.
like he could have evolved. I don't know, maybe he hasn't, but when he speaks the truth,
I mean,
like,
he's most likely not involved.
no, he hasn't. Anyway, my whole point is, you know, it's like, just why do people see, they see what they want to see? You know?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like everybody thinks that he's an idiot, so okay, he's an idiot, and we don't need to talk about anything else besides him being an idiot.
right. That's what it is. That's what it is. We don't have to talk about anything else besides that. And me and my husband, I'm like, well, there's lots of things to talk about more than that. I mean, like, let's talk about this part or this part or this part or this part. And
Now listen, this guy is amazing at what he does, though. Like that's the part me and Aaliyah see. We're like, we don't. The guy is, he's an idiot. Yes.
let me clarify that,
like,
because it's not that I think he's amazing at what he does. Let me be clear, because I don't want my shit to be tainted here. So,
what does he do?
So
that's what you have to explain.
this is where I'm coming from. Again, because of what I do for a living, I see things, and not that I'm able to be like, you know, see like some unhealthy behavior and be like, oh wow, like good job, but like I see things that I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, and you're doing it unfortunately very well. So Trump is, I believe, a master manipulator, also a part of the narcissism. I believe that he does it very well. He has done it so fucking well that he has been able to now call himself the president of the United States, people. This is a man that was just a businessman and fucking owned, you know, hotels and all this stuff, and is a fucking reality TV show, like, mess. Okay, like when there were talks about Trump becoming president years prior to him even running, people were like, oh my god, laughable, ha ha ha, no way in hell, that would never happen. This guy did it. And how do you think he did it? He did it because he's an amazing master manipulator. Probably one of the best, I will say. Up there. He's up there, guys. He is up there. And I see him. I see it. I got his number. I see it.
And that's the show we're watching.
So that to me is what, like, so when he says that we think that he's a man, I just want to be clear. I just see him for who he is. And I'm like, damn, he's fucking good at that. I want to be clear. Right. Like at that, you know, like, I mean, come on. What, I mean, I could spend days on this part, because honestly, this part really gets me. It's just like, he literally, Oh man.
And look, I know
gotta-
he's got the world. He's got the world on fire right now.
The world
and we
on
just spent
fire.
our whole first fucking podcast talking about this guy. This is what he does. He did this.
Freaking during his campaign, guys. What did he do? He highlighted and gravitated towards the one population of people that
were never talked.
That no other president would even highlight. Nobody would ever do. Why? Because, well, the inevitable, I guess.
Although
right?
all those other presidents still did try to get those people's votes.
They tried to, but I got to tell you something. If you're going to get those people to cut, because understand, even though they've always been around, right? They were like low key around.
That's that backdoor shit.
Low key racist. Like on that low key shit, right? Now, whether that means that Trump's racist or not, guys, that's a whole other discussion and a whole other podcast, because I also have some theories about that. But what he did was he highlighted it, he targeted it, he brought it out, and those are the populations of individuals, plus some others. I'm not saying that it's just that, but man, the majority, that was his shit.
He's more of an opportunist than a racist.
Opportunist. Huge.
He sees an opportunity. He saw a population of people that nobody wanted to talk to.
Nobody wanted to do it. And he did it. And he killed it. He killed it so much, you guys, that here in Florida, when I drive down Oakland Park Boulevard and I hit the corner of Oakland and Federal, you know who's still out there? The fucking Trump supporters. And he is no longer going to be the president. And they're still out there.
This is December 2020.
These motherfuckers are serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did that, you guys. I just want to be clear. He didn't create them, obviously, but he did
so we're
that.
giving him props for what he is,
I'm not giving him props because obviously it's not cool to be manipulated, but I will. All I'm saying is that I see you. Like, I see what he's doing. I see the manipulation. I get it. You fucking worked it to your advantage and you got in, and now forever, for the rest of your fucking life, Trump gets to be referred to as the president of the United States. Oh man, which says so much about the United States, man. You guys all got manipulated by a fucking con artist. Listen, it happens. Narcissists are, somewhat likable to some people. He's not a sociopath, but like narcissists are they could really reel it in. I mean, they really can, and they're good with manipulation. And people just get drawn into it. They get suckered by it, and bam, it happens. It happens. So I'm not even faulting anyone. It just happens.
Yep, and we're just what's the word then? We're in awe of watching.
I'm not in awe.
Well, all right, I gotta not put words in her mouth.
Well, you can't put because to me there's like positive words with that. So I don't want to have a positive word connected to something that's clearly not positive, because like manipulation and what he did is not positive. Manson was also a fucking master manipulator, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm in awe of his manipulation.
But there's movies and shit made of that guy all the time, documentaries,
Again,
everything.
I'm leaving it as there's no word other than I see it for what it is, and I'm just like, damn.
Right. And I think I have no
other way to put it.
We just wish we could have this conversation with other people. It's tough to even talk about it, because as soon as you say the T word, they're just like, fuck that motherfucker.
You guys, I'm scared. I have to say, to even say, when I go out to dinner, and let's say Joe and I are talking or whatever, and we're talking, and we even start talking about it, and he says Trump, I have to I whisper to him, and I'm like, let's not talk about that, because we live in Florida, and so it's a very hot topic. People get real crazy.
But it's talking,
and I'm not trying to be on fucking TikTok. I'm not trying to be the person. I got a license, guys. I love what I do for a living. I am not trying to be in that situation.
Trump, Corona,
I play
masks,
it safe. I play it safe.
Cough. There's a lot of things we can't talk about now.
Lots of things. Lots of things. All right, let's end, because now
sneeze in public.
Now Soul is actually awake right now, standing in her crib. So
I gotta go pee anyway.
Okay. So let's end this. I love this. I love talking to my husband about these things. This is fun. And hopefully you guys liked this, and you'll tune in again and be with us throughout this amazing process, because we are gonna evolve in this shit. And thank you.
That's it.
Yeah. Bye.